Hey, what's up, Will?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm glad to hear. I'm doing good. I saw that we were the #1 podcast on FeedSpot. That's pretty good.
Did you know?
Yeah, I knew that before, but
that's impressive.
The intro. I normally play on my phone.
Click for you yet?
Yeah, no, I didn't realize we were #1. Do you know what else is
number
one?
one? Who else is number one?
My Outback Steakhouse that I work at. We are the busiest Outback Steakhouse and the best Outback Steakhouse sales-wise in the United States.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you. Welcome, everyone, to Survivor Stock Watch, Episode 6. David versus Goliath, except Goliath wins. I am Jack. That is Will. Will, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Can't complain. I'm a little sad with this episode. I'm not going to lie. I was kind of putting it off. I saw what happened. I was working Wednesday night. I checked my phone. I saw who went home.
You
I
saw
started
it
crying.
this morning, didn't you?
No, so I saw the episode this morning, but I knew what happened. I keep it's like Big Brother.
Yeah. Yes. Will's late to the party. David versus Goliath. That was the Survivor season 37. But David versus Goliath played out this episode in which we saw probably the most mismatched mergatory team we've seen.
Yeah.
Period.
I think there's been tribe swaps where it was mismatched. It's high up there. I think back to the One World swap where Colton was there's all the big people over there. Then, we have us, the misfits. It was same vibe.
Yeah, definitely the same vibe. I remember this episode. I've always wondered how because I've never been in person. I've never seen any of the survivors in person. I've never seen anyone on the show right in front of me. I will in a month, later than a month or so. But
congrats.
Thank you. When they stated their heights, or at least the first group, the orange group stated their heights before the challenge, I was like, what? I didn't know. I thought Charlie was 6'3". I didn't know he was 5'9".
Yeah.
Do you wonder that too, or am I just kind of isolated in this issue? Because genuinely, I have this epiphany that the heights are so important to know about. I don't know. What do you think?
I feel I don't know. Height is a weird thing when it comes to Survivor, right? And just in size in general, because it's you think of the big burly men, they're going to dominate all the challenges and whatnot.
Hunter is 6'3", 6'4".
Hunter's 6'5". And then for a while, I feel we got the outliers where it's more of the lanky people that do the best. People who don't have a lot of, they don't need to consume as much food. But then recently we just had Hunter and Jonathan.
That's true.
But yeah, no, height is weird because it's also just how they frame and angle the cameras. It's everyone looks more average and equal, except for Jelinski and the clear outliers. Jack, how tall are you?
I'm 6 foot. So I'd actually be one of the taller ones out there. I'd be one of the tall boys.
I'm 6'1".
Yeah, we're the same. We're the same height, Will. I don't know what you're talking about. We saw each other.
We did
in public.
That was wild. Who let that happen?
That was a good time. Yeah. Okay. Next episode. Here's our promise for next episode. We'll have the picture of us together as the cover.
Hand in hand. BFFs.
Hand in hand. Arm in arm. Leg in leg. Together.
Okay, let's talk about the episode. This is weird.
Let's talk about the episode. But before we do, we want to remind you of the rule book, a permanent addition to Survivor Stock Watch with a new subcategory. It was our promise from last episode. If multiple people have a slash on the tier list, their rankings are based on their placement potential in their sphere. So if there are, let's say, 2 people with the slash on the tier list, The person that's higher is who we think is going to place higher than the person that's lower on the tier list.
Yeah.
Sounds
and you'll
good?
see that coming into play too with a few people, the loser squad.
Oh
loser
yeah,
bench.
we were generous with the slashes, so much so that I made a kind of interesting pick, and I'm we'll get to the end, but
We'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to it. we lost Aubrey Bracco or Bracco, Bracket, whatever, this episode, and did it to herself. I think that's actually a theme this season, is that a lot of the players who have been eliminated kind of sowed their own demise. I mean, you had Jelinski just being himself. You had Jess
finding the idol.
Yeah, I guess. You had Banu and everything that was that. That's the thing. Every single player that's been eliminated this season, or most of the players that have been eliminated this season, they did it to themselves, but you can't really explain it other than they're just them, because that's how they went home. And Mariah was no exception to that. Rankings took a huge dunk. You are absolutely correct, Mona. Yeah, we have our buffer now. We've decided that the winning potential, it's not based on placement. We didn't think Mariah was going to get third or second. We thought she had the third best or second best winning potential.
Yeah,
we kind of fucked up. We kind of screwed up. What did you think about it, Will?
Yeah, so the problem is whenever we talk about players, right? Obviously, we can't. The edit doesn't want them to look like buffoons like earlier on, so it's hard to be like we did not see the nosedive coming. Like with Gem, we thought Gem was a very savvy player who maybe played a little too aggressive, and then took a nosedive. Mariah fit the same build where I thought this was going to be her like rise from the ashes episode. This will be her like.
Exactly. I think that's what everybody thought.
And I think if that was the path that happened, I think Mariah would have had a really good and compelling narrative. Mm-hmm. But instead, she made the mistake of going back to Siga and just letting bygones be bygones. When you're going into a merge, being the crack of your tribe does have its benefits. It lets you play a little more aggressively and within reason, right? If Mariah went to the merge and said, like, look, I just got blindsided. I need allies. Yep. People wouldn't be like, Mariah's overplaying. They'd be like, she needs allies. And I feel like that could have been the easiest path, but instead, Siga really dropped the ball.
Yes. I think the biggest issue with not only Mariah, but everybody from Siga is that they couldn't really read the room, and that the Siga strong mentality was going to bite them in the ass. Mariah decided to ride that mentality, go, hey, I am working with the Siga people. I am Siga strong, even though she was blindsided. And that's what cost her, because we saw Nami very clearly split. I remember one thing say, I think it was Hunter or Tevin saying Liz hates Soda, Soda hates Venus, Venus hates everybody. There were cracks in the Nami tribe, and that was appealing to other people. And Mariah didn't read the room correctly, thought that Siga Strong was going to work out for her. It didn't. And then she tried to backtrack it, and it didn't end up working.
Yeah, and I feel bad. But like,
thank you, Chris. Yes, we had to make sure.
But yeah, no, it's very unfortunate because I was really pulling for her, but
I was as well.
Now I'm rooting for Soda. I don't know.
We were really rooting for another Aubrey Bracco here, the same as Ko-Rong in this scenario, because Aubrey had a very rough beginning, lots of crying. Lots of personal who's a what's it going on. And Mariah kind of had that, a little bit of awkward fish out of water. This could have been the rise from the ashes, but it unfortunately was the fall from the ashes, which is always worse.
Yep.
I thought she was getting under the radar contender at it. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what Bo said. Like, why is she getting screen time? And to be honest, that question is a little murky right now. Yeah, like she's the merge, but why did she get screen time? I mean, the merge boot usually gets decent screen time, but why did it matter?
So much, like, that was the reason why everyone was so high up there. It's not because Mariah was like had this grand story or grand narrative. She was just getting a little bit every episode, and with the type of tribe that Siga was, it was what she needed. Now here's the crackpot theory. There's a battle.
Oh boy, here we go. We got to play the graphic.
There's a battle back, Pearl Island style, where no one sees it coming. No. Can you imagine?
No. If that happens, wow. Okay. Like, because that's the thing. They told like the merge comeback for Edge of Extinction. They didn't tell anybody, but then afterwards they were told that the Edge was coming back. If they did it a la Outcast back in Pearl Islands with this season, dear Lord. Uh-oh. Yeah, uh-oh. But Randy with a comment here, this season has been like impossible to predict. Yeah, it has been quite the rough. It's been quite rough for Stockwatch. It's been quite rough for other analyses on the internet. It's been rough. So
we had it easy last 2 seasons. We knew what we were doing.
We had it cooking in 44 and 45. And this season we're struggling.
Yeah. Hi, Ben.
But with struggles comes success. Ben didn't have a lot of success, though, losing a Siga member, and didn't really have a lot of content staying with the Siga Strong. That's why you see the We Are One as his meme image. Little bit of a hot take here. Maybe not. Ben's out for me. I don't think Ben wins. I cut him out.
I see why. I get it. I get you. He's not out for me yet because there's still a world where Survivor 46 will not have a very flashy or deserving winner, like Nicaragua, right? Where I feel like that is kind of the trajectory of the season, and so I think I mean it's possible, right? Because there's a lot of people where it's like I want to say that they're doing great, but then I feel like their edit is too perfect or too clean or too good. And so it's like I can't rule out everyone. And so Ben is holding on by a thread. He's almost out for me. But I could see a world where we get Gablered again, we get Fabio'd again, where he just comes out of nowhere and his good social bonds just gets him the win. I don't know, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I think for me, a little bit more would have sufficed this episode if we got to see his perspective on Venus trying to get rid of Charlie or trying to maybe save Mariah to keep Siga strong. If we had that, I'd feel a lot more confident about Ben, and I wouldn't have eliminated him. But at this point, I'm taking a shot in the dark. I'm literally taking the shot in the dark, and I'm throwing it all out there. I don't think Ben's winning, and that is my expert Stockwatch guess. We gotta get to those depths.
Real
now.
expert. Mariah number 1, episode 1.
She had a really solid premiere. It was like Katura from last season. She had a solid premiere and then just fell off.
You had Soda number 5. Don't want to hear it.
Anywho.
Hi, Charlie.
So, Charlie, there is a do you know who that is?
No.
Like, not Charlie. Do you know who that guy is?
No.
You're going to see this guy a lot. I'm going to tell you who he is right now. His name is Emre Moore. I'm going to type it in the chat right now. If I can. There we go. Emre Moore. Look him up. He's a soccer player. He's from Turkey. Doesn't matter. The reason why he's in this photo and in all the other, or like a lot of the other photos, is because his last name is Moore. Because, oh my God, the amount of middle-of-the-road tonelesses I gave out this episode is insane. I gave out like 6 to 7. That is like a record. Yeah. It has to be. It's insane. I mean, everybody was like, Charlie's one of the only ones I would maybe consider as a CP, but even then, surface level. That's my explanation. Thank you.
Yeah, I was so confused. I thought this was like a joke, and then I didn't notice that he was on like everyone. I was just like, was there something I missed in the episode? Is there something that happened? Who is this guy, bro?
Yeah.
But despite that, though, like, because I want a little more from Charlie, but at the same time, I did move him up. Not because I moved Charlie up, I just moved other people down. And I don't know. Charlie, he has a lot of the same qualities and reminds me a lot of Carson from 44.
You think so?
I don't know. Maybe it's like who Charlie is too. Like, again, like the young, super fan, nerdy guy on the tribe, on like the Vibe tribe. But at the same time, it's like, I feel like it's too clean, too good. He's too good of a narrator. And it's just, I don't know. I can't explain it. But
yeah, I feel like we've always had the feeling that Charlie's probably going to do well in the game. He seems like he's got a clear head on his shoulders, and he's going to do some damage in the game. Does he win? We don't know. This is more of like a status placement in terms of everybody else kind of fell a little bit. Charlie kind of stayed where he is. I'm not too confident in Charlie really being the one that's going to get out there and win $1 million, but there's a chance, and that's why he's at number 2, and I assume at number 3 for you. So,
yeah, I mean, he has the potential. He's like, everything is just right. It's just one of those like petty things where it's like, I don't know, man. It's like when someone plays too good of a game in online Survivor, and so you just don't vote for them because you know they're not a perfect player.
That is true. That is true. Some questions from the chat or thoughts. Maria will be the Malcolm in the Charlie and Maria relationship. Maybe. I don't know. That relationship is weird because they highlight it and they mention it as important, but I think because it was mentioned this episode, Maria saying that Charlie was her number 1, it gives me the idea that it's gonna happen one more time where Maria and Charlie are important. At least one more time. It could be more important. It could be important for the rest of the season. But I think one more time, Maria and Charlie will be important. I feel like Maria is being undermined by the edit, even though she's a power position. Yeah, I wouldn't say necessarily undermined, but she's definitely being shafted in the edit, which is quite unfortunate.
This might be a hot take for you. I think I don't really have a lot of faith in Sega anymore, which is weird because a few episodes ago, I was really high on the Sega train. However, they remind me of Bello. Is that the name? Bello, the Blue Tribe, Dick Tribe?
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of the same hallmarks as Bello, and I feel like it's the opposite, though. Like, Bello was so disorganized and so fractured that the Rebas were able to take control. I think Sega is so together and so conjoined that everyone sees them as an immediate target. I do see Charlie and maybe Maria surviving that. However, I don't know. I know there's still the alliance of 6.
So you think the Sega hate train continues? Yes. And you think, okay, that's an interesting perspective because I don't know. I think this alliance of 6, Charlie's not in it. I think who's next, right? Hunter. Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Yep.
This alliance of 6 that's formed in the journey was a clear part of the episode, but in my opinion, it's like the strike force from David versus Goliath. It's not going to go very far.
I saw it more as a block, just to survive the merge.
Yeah, like a voting block. I think that's I think that's an astute perspective. Hunter for us, what? Okay. Astute. It's a
word. Mr. I graduated school. Okay, Mr. Lawyer man. Okay, Mr. Ivy League.
Hey, I'm not Ivy League. Charlie was though. Hunter found the Beware advantage quickly before the merge tribe began. I don't know. We moved them down. I mean, Will, you only moved them down 1. I moved them down 2. He's getting an Austin-like edit to me, but he's going to be more of a threat and get eliminated a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I think I feel like we're going to view Hunter the same way we saw Austin. We were kind of wrong about Austin last season. We thought he was either getting at 5th, and then we thought he's a no vote, and then he almost won. So go us, always right. right?
Always right.
I still think, though, that Hunter is still a little low key, and I think that works out for Hunter. I feel like if we got more from Hunter, then that would be bad. And I feel like we were forced to see a lot from Hunter because he did have the beware advantage. And for the most part, if you have an advantage, that's going to be highlighted in the episode. I know there's like very few instances where that wasn't the case. However, I don't know. I feel like Hunter was also part of the 6, and so it's like we get a lot of the forced screen time, but also just a little. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I definitely think it's very important that Hunter is focused on this season. I think he's an important character, and he's proven that he's been an important character in the season. There's no need to see him become an important character as the season goes on. We've already seen that from Hunter. And so Melon Man Will with a comment here.
Shout out.
Nice. Thanks, Melon Man.
I'm glad to have fans.
Let's get to some comments here. Chris, imagine if Randy gets a winner right. Oh my God, yeah. If Randy I predict for Australian Survivor fans out there, I predicted Ferris was going to win Australian Survivor really early on. I was correct, but I kept flip-flopping back and forth through. Randy does not know how to pick a winner. I'm gonna tell you that straight up. He's terrible at it.
Hey,
we love you, Randy.
Can I stroke my ego as well?
Interject.
So the last season of Big Brother, week 1, I called out. I said Jag was winning. I said that on the podcast.
Yeah, but he did it in the most roundabout, ridiculous way you could by getting evicted, having a power plate on him.
Yeah, but he still won the game.
Okay, whatever.
He still won.
All right, whatever. Let's get to some more comments here. Let's see. Frank here. That collective decision of Sega to all strategize. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a bad decision, and it was pinpointed well by all the other players. I was interested to see how Yanni was going to react and how Yanni was going to play it, considering they could really be the middle of a 5-5 tribe split. And they sided with Nami pretty quickly, mostly, in my opinion, because of the cracks that were there. If there weren't really any cracks on the surface there, like Sega, they wouldn't have gone with him. And so Hunter really, in a way, lucked out with that. Maybe that was their plan all along.
Hey, honestly, you need luck to win Survivor, bro. I mean, look at Soda being on Nami and not Sega. Like, I feel like Soda would have been a lot better on Sega. You know, or look at Jess being on Yanu. If she was on another tribe, you know, if she was on like Tandang, you know, maybe she would have won.
Jess on Tandang?
No, I'm thinking of the
Tandang from Philippines.
Yeah, Philippines, the tribe that won all the challenges. Never went to tribal.
Oh boy, Kenzie's next. Well, I'm just crackpotting out. I'm not gonna do the theory graphic because I haven't actually stated one here. Kenzie, to me, I moved her up because, in my opinion, the dragon idea is starting to fade away. And if she gets a decent amount of content, not too much in the coming episodes, I think she actually has a shot. I'm not going to lie to you.
I think she has a shot. I just don't see her having a better chance than everyone else. Mm-hmm. I still think, no matter what, that when you're on such an underdog tribe, it makes it really hard for you to make it to the end because you will always have that story and that will always be used against you. However, I am warming up to the idea of Yanu winning. I know before I think episode 2, I ruled them all out saying no one from Yanu is winning. I'm warming back up to that. I'm reconsidering some things. I also, again with Sega.
This is not Lulu. Right, this is not the Lulu situation because going into the merge, we had Caleb and Emily. Caleb was one of the biggest threats in Survivor history. I mean, everyone was going to go for him instantly if they could. And Emily, we thought she had winning potential, but it felt a little bit more like a growth edit.
Yeah.
Kenzie doesn't feel like that to me, and I feel like she is a great narrator, and she has been highlighted because of that. And I think she has just the right amount. Like I looked on the confessional time tracker today for this season. I think she's like 5th or the 5th most in confessionals, which is a good spot to be if you're a winner right now. Like a really good spot to be.
Oh yeah. At the same time though, I don't know. I feel like I still got to be a little contrarian because I'm a little hesitant to make any big changes. Yeah. I could totally move her up though. I think just whenever there is a merge, it just shakes everything up, but not drastically. Like I never go into watch a merge episode, and I'm like, okay, let me move everything around. It's always like, let me reconsider and watch the rest of the episodes with an open eye. I'm looking out for Kenzie. I still think of the Yanu though. She will be the biggest threat, and I don't see Yanu moving that far as a unit. Just because, again, I still it's not like Lulu where, you know, Caleb was a big threat. I feel like Lulu was a target because of the individual, but I think Yanu as a story will be looked at because I feel like we got some more cutthroat players here. Like we have Hunter and Tevin.
I mean, it is the most vicious season ever.
We got to bring it back up every episode. We keep mentioning it.
It's important. Mona, thank you. I appreciate your hospitality. Yeah, this is the biggest concern, though, Jay, right? You're absolutely correct. It's really, really important that we remember this. And we remember what Banu also said about Tiff and Q, and we'll get to both of them later. Any knowledge is knowledge that is impactful and important on Survivor, right? Anything you are told on Survivor, you can run it all the way to the bank. And as much as we want to say Kenzie has a better shot or potentially will do better moving forward, we don't know. I'm really yellow right now. There we go. My light's acting better now.
There we go.
We don't know. The information is key. And while Kenzie is in a good spot right now and is doing pretty decent, I'm not sure. This is hesitant.
Yeah. I don't know. I think moving up to 3 is a little bold. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little.
I'm getting bold, man.
Listen, radical there.
We had Gem at number 1, and it was the most.
You had Mariah at number 1 too. So I don't.
I mean, in episode 1, it was the Katura treatment, right? Oh my gosh.
No, I get it, but I don't know. I still, maybe I'm biased. I was not a fan of Yanu early on. I was kind of preying on their downfall.
Really?
Oh yeah. They were bullying Jess, bro.
You're consistent, Jack. Yeah, I guess I am. Yeah. I mean, I get it. You know, Yanu was a little bit of a mess. The way they were playing was a little too aggressive, but it hones you. You know, we see we see Denise and Malcolm really honed from going to Ever Tribal Council, and their head is far more in the game than Tandang. You see Luzon from Cagayan, their head's more in the game. Lulu is debatable, but you get the idea. You go to more tribals, you get a better sense of the game.
And that's exactly what Kenzie said in this episode too. She said that she has experienced tribal a lot more than everyone else. At the same time, though, did Luzon win? Did someone from Lulu win?
Someone from At Sing won.
I know, but that's the outlier, you know?
Oh, come on. We have merch. We have merch. Please get some merch. Please get some spring
Change
apparel.
the subject, why don't you?
Yeah, I'll change the subject here to Liz.
Hi, Liz.
The ghost.
The ghost.
This episode, same old story for Liz, unfortunately. We got an interesting perspective from I think Tevin said this or Hunter said this. I forget who said it, but someone said Liz hates soda. Did you know that?
Nope.
Yeah. That's new information. I mean, like we saw Soda in a previous episode talking to everybody and people were getting annoyed. God damn it, Chris.
Every episode.
We saw people getting annoyed with Soda for being too all over the place. And Liz was a part of that. And so it may come from that. But to be honest, we never really saw that reflected in the edit. So that's kind of new information. And we need to take that, maybe not necessarily to the bank, to heart, but we need to keep it in mind.
Yeah, because that also it paints Liz in a better light because for a while Liz was just not playing. You know, like whenever she tried talking strategy, it was always like, oh, I'm going with the flow. Hey, Liz, you want to search for another? Not really. I just want to hang out with y'all. It felt like a less extreme version of a Gabe from Marquesas. I know you just saw Marquesas.
Throwback. Putting it back to Gabe Marquesas. Okay, that is a great example. I agree.
And I mean, less extreme because that, at this point, Survivor is so molded into a strategy game where being as laid back as Gabe was does have its benefits, I think. Unlike when the game was first getting started. Might be a hot take. I don't know. I think Liz is going to be, I still think she could have like a breakout episode. Not where she's like the winner or even having a chance. I could see Liz though, like unintentionally making a really big move or like being a number in a huge move where she's just like, yeah, sure, why not? Let's vote like Tevin out or Q or Charlie.
There is that potential. I think a big thing though. I'm coming back to the Liz Hates Soda information here. We tend to overcommit on Stockwatch. We tend to focus on very minute things in the edit and really take it home and say this is going to be part of their driving story.
Yep.
But sometimes that just doesn't happen. And sometimes it's just things that they say to make good television, or things that are presented that make good television. And they're part of what people are saying. So it's tough. It's always important to keep it in mind and make sure you know of the potential of it, but not to commit to it. But yeah, I agree. I think there is a lot of potential for Liz to be a part of something in the future. I think if anything, Tevin and Hunter would likely pick up Liz as a number, more likely than Soda, in my opinion. And they would be like, because Liz is pretty agreeable at this point. So I think it would be ideal for people to pick Liz up as a number.
Do you think she's a losing finalist? I know Frank.
Called her. No!
Hey, I'm not back on that bandwagon.
No. Will, you remember last season when all you would talk about is who's a losing finalist? You would be like, I was right. People. You'd be like 5 people in one episode. They could be a losing finalist. Not everybody is a losing finalist.
Frank mentioned it, bro. All right, look at the chat. She is a GOAT. I agree with that. I think. I'm not saying it with everyone.
Does that mean she could be eliminated though?
I think that's more likely. I think that's far more likely. However, Liz is still in the game. Tim is still in the game. So something's happening where we're taking all the players we had very low, and they're living in going a lot further than we thought. I know we don't really talk about longevity anymore. We mention it here and there. But early on, we said like Siga's going to go to tribal soon. They're going to vote out Tim. That'll be that. If Nami ever lost another challenge or if they ever lost someone else, it's going to be Liz. That'll be that. And so I feel like maybe I'm going too far in the other direction. But I do think it's possible that Liz has more longevity than we think. And that's why I have her at 11 and not 12. Because there's someone else at 12 that I think
you're playing the rules here a little bit. You're playing the stopwatch rules. I like it. Okay. Yeah, I agree with that perspective. I definitely would place Liz higher than the last place person on my tier list, but there are a couple other people on the tier list of slashes who I think have a better placement potential, but I still have Liz at 11 as well. And I think that's a good reason. So good job, Will.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Maria, another Erme Moore player, middle of the road. And why'd you move her up?
I moved other people down.
And you moved Maria up?
I moved other people down. That's why.
I moved Maria down.
Listen, here's the thing.
Okay.
We're talking about potential. I still think there is a good chance. I'm not saying it's perfect.
That too.
The thing is with a lot of winners now in the new era, there is negativity. There is bad stuff. True. Maria did get undermined the few episodes ago with the whole advantage situation. That was a bad episode for Maria. I think being a part of the Siga mentality is also bad. However, she is still attached to Charlie. She's still attached to Tim. And she does have the connections. I think that is something that was highlighted, but not in a Maria is a threat way, just a Maria is a player way. I think that is low key. I do think Maria could be a low key player. Also, apologies for the graphic messing up. I don't know how that happened. I really don't know. Weird, but I think just because Maria is having a few bad episodes, that doesn't mean I want to immediately throw her out, because negativity is good nowadays.
Yeah. I 100% agree with you. I mean, negativity is in the blood of a winner of the new era. I mean, era top, Gabler had some negativity in them. Yeah, Gabler was
just negative.
Gabler was negative. Jam had a rough episode. Dee had an episode or two where she was undermined. Maria's in the same boat. Maria has been undermined. I think a player who is too perfect so far in the edit or too underedited, like Charlie, right? A little too perfect in the edit. Their winning potential is still very high because it, could be a win for Charlie. But that doesn't mean they could win. And I argue that sometimes it's really important to highlight the undermined players, because that is the formula. A flawed winner is a new era winner. And Jay, you're on point here. It's all about balanced negativity.
Yeah.
That's 100% correct.
And Maria could have episodes. I think she could have, like, not a rise from the ashes edit, but there could be future episodes where she starts to call the shots more and more, and people will be still hesitant because of the early negativity. But she can still turn it around, and I'm still leaving out hope. I didn't move her up because I wanted to move Maria up. It was just I wanted to put other people down, and it's just how it fell. If I could put everyone at like number 5, I would. but I don't know. I still have hope.
I have hope as well. Q, Dr. Doofenshmirtz of the episode here. Q's coming in a little hot. I think he is really trying to dictate the direction of the game a little early on. It was shown this episode. I mean, he was the most focused player this episode pretty much, and he got negativity in the sense that it was over the top, it was directive, and then next time on Survivor is really, really, really damning for Q, in my opinion, because while we did have potential for Q and we have some longevity for Q, Chris, he is too hardcore.
So I must admit, I did not watch the next time on Survivor for this episode.
Come on, man.
Come on. Okay. But here's the thing, though. Do the next times on Survivors like really matter? Loki. Like, does it?
Sometimes they do. They're important.
Like, I think about the Drew thing where he like threw the can and everyone hyped it up. They're like, okay, Drew's going to go up the deep and he's going to beat up Jake.
Listen. Let's talk about last season, right? Let's talk about the next time on Survivor. Every time Dee was mentioned as a big threat in the next time on Survivor, what happened? She got the target off of her back. That was a storyline. Like, that was a present thing that people noticed throughout the season. Could it be this for Q? Maybe. I don't know. But I think the next time on Survivor holds just a little bit of weight.
Yeah. Chris, you can't fire me. I quit. No.
Now, Will, you are fired. He's gone. It's just me now.
No.
No, my heart.
No, my heart attack. No. So Q is a player that I have him at 5 right now, but it's very shaky.
Yeah, I'm shaky too.
We are walking on eggshells with Q because he is very hardcore. He is very over the top. And on Yanu, I think that's what they needed because it was such a low morale tribe. But now they're in the mergatory, or they're in the merge now with all the other tribes. With Siga, watching Q interact with Siga was kind of funny.
It was funny.
And I think that painted everyone in a pretty negative light, but mainly Siga. And so I think this could be the perfect blend for Q to kind of lean into being hardcore.
Yeah.
But then also thriving in the environment. But at the same time,
is he doing not? We talk about getting versus doing too much too early. Getting is getting too much content too early, getting too much good stuff. Trying to think of a good example here of someone getting too much good stuff.
Sabaya.
Yeah, Sabaya. Or you could say Carson as well. Too much good stuff early on to make it a bad thing. Or doing too much too early, being too much of a threat too early. Omar eventually fell to that fate. And I think Q is going to fall to that fate as well. I think he goes relatively soon if he continues this trajectory.
Yeah. So it's weird though, because I could also see, like, I don't know. It's like the Kelly conundrum from last season where it's like I see two paths. One where Q thrives, and so I still have him number 5. The other where he gets voted out like next time or the time after. I think he lives this next episode. I could be wrong.
I have a question for you, Will.
Yeah. I was more of a SpongeBob guy. I gotta be real here.
Oh no!
I'm sorry.
You gotta watch Phineas and Ferb.
I saw a few episodes. All right, I know the theme song. I can play it on guitar. Shout out!
Ridiculous. So Q top 7 final 10. Maybe. We got to keep it in mind. I think Will's right. I think the path really depends here. He could really understand his environment, understands he needs to backtrack and be a little more calm, or he could go full hog wild and get himself voted out. So we'll see.
We will see.
We will. We should take a break. I'm getting kind of tired, you know.
I just downed the little energy drink, bro. I'm good to go.
You're good to go. Well, I need a break, and so we are gonna hear from KT Designs.
Hi, Survivor Now podcast listeners. I am Katie from KT Designs, better known as Katie Tedesco Art on both Instagram and Etsy. I have been designing and selling Survivor products for over 7 years at my Etsy shop, including replicas like hidden immunity idols and Survivor trading cards with all of the players' stats on the back. I am so grateful for Survivor Now for giving me this shout out and helping me reach even more superfans. I love listening to their podcast. So if you are looking for some really unique reality TV products for yourself or to give a superfan in your life, come check out my Etsy shop at www.etsy.com/shop/KatieTedescoArt.com.
I can't even hear what anybody's saying right now. This mask makes me 8 feet tall. I feel glorious with it off.
What?
That's all I had to say.
So dumb. I hate this podcast. Can I go back to doing the episode recaps, Randy? I don't like this anymore. This is weird. Fuck? We have one bad episode. Jack is wrong like 2 times in a Survivor podcast, and he goes.
I'm going fucking nuts. Listen, I've lost I've lost my marbles. Like, this is truly insane. We've lost our minds on Survivor Stock Watch. 44 was Jam or Carolyn. We were confident. 45, D or Kelly, confident. This season, I have no fucking idea.
We don't.
I'm losing my mind. Jay, I have lost the plot. Soda hates Venus. That is the story.
Yeah.
Jack is in his. Yep, I'm in my body era. So Soda, right? We saw a very interesting scene early on in the episode. While how do you pronounce whilst? Whilst Hunter was looking for his advantage, Soda and Venus were having a nice, lovely chat in the Nami camp and just shooting the shit, doing the thing. And it was very indicative of how fed up Soda was of Venus because, my God, Soda hated Venus. And we saw that in full force and fury this episode.
Yeah. And it's funny because I get why Soda does not like Venus, right? Like, I'm not saying Venus is 120% innocent and that she's just an innocent bystander. But at the same time, I wrote off soda a long time ago. And I think of all the people, I don't see like a comeback story for soda anytime soon. So we have her last, right? I think she has the worst longevity of anyone. I think she is most likely out next episode. There is an argument for someone else who we'll get to later.
Ooh.
But even then, I'm more in the soda's going out soon camp. Because
I am as well.
I mean, honestly, if I'm a crackpot, I could see her going out via an advantage. Bro, the chat this episode has been popping off, bro.
Yes.
Can you please pin the comment from Mona? The soda's about to pop soon. That is brilliant wordplay.
That is the chat.
That is the chat, bro. I wish I thought of that. That is the chat,
and that is the pun. We feel comfortable knowing we have so many great fans on Survivor Stock Watch.
All right, put the ego in check, bro.
I've truly lost my mind at this
point. Why is the glasses on, dude? What is going on?
Because we're doing with the glasses on for the rest of the episode here. So Tevin is in middle of the road as well. He's just keeping it on, keeping it wild, keeping it riding. King Tevin was a comment that we heard from Venus, I want to say, right? This episode, we heard it from Venus?
Yeah, but she says that all the time.
Yeah, she does say that all the time, but it raises some concern, potentially, because we have to take things in both kind of directions, right? You have Venus, who says King Tevin. You also have Tevin, who's saying Venus is awful. You have to consider both perspectives here. And while Venus is maybe on the bottom right now, doesn't mean that Tevin can't be later.
Yeah. But as of right now, Tevin has a lot of ducks in a row. He still has Hunter, who I think is a good shield. He has the Alliance of 6, and I think he has different avenues he can go down. I think there's a world where he picks up Liz. There could be a world where him and Venus could, come back.
Would you say it's
it's a crackpot?
Yes!
I'm by the stable one.
Yeah, baby. Woo!
Okay. I'm supposed to be the weird one in this group, bro. In this sitcom.
I've lost my mind. I'm just losing my shit this episode. I'm not gonna lie to you. Well, I don't
know what's going on, man. Can I get Troyzen back in the spotlight, bro?
You want Troy? Okay, I'd love Troyzen back too. Please come back.
I want him to replace you. I'm just saying.
Replace me, dude. I'm the host. I like to.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I just lost my internet. Oh my god.
Correct here. Gem. Oh, why can I show it? Oh, there it is. Sorry, the lag spike. Gem and Mariah.
What just happened?
Really did. By the way, Honer did a mid-season interview and Soda was off having convos with Brandon and Venus, so that's why they were starting to get ready. Soda, very true. Yeah, Soda was just, and I'm interested to see what Tevin and Soda's relationship was, because originally Tevin and Soda were number ones. Could it potentially be a scenario where Tevin gets rid of Soda and Soda's on the jury and Tevin makes it to the end, and that's something that's against him?
Maybe. I think he is the Q of Nami, though. I think he's, no matter what happens, he's just going to have that big piercing target from Venus. From relationships, I think he's kind of mismanaging. And he's doing a good job skating by now. I do think it'll catch up with him down the line. However, I could see certain things going his way. He's not completely out from me yet.
He's not. He's right at the bottom of potential for me.
Yeah,
and there's still potential. He's at the bottom.
Yeah, I have him maybe beating Kenzie, but even then, that's a little weary. And then the rest are and Ben as well. I still have Ben on, but the rest not looking good.
Absolutely. Really good read from Frank here in the chat. Something that was pointed out, planting too many seeds and getting ready to reap Hunter the Puzzle Whiz. Subtitled in the episode. Subtitles are a very important thing. And so him saying that and him continuing to say that, remember in I think it was episode 4 when it was the challenge where they were in the water and they were like throwing the balls in the hoops.
Oh yeah.
Tevin did say about Hunter, once Hunter gets a ball in his hand, it's over. He is saying Hunter is a challenge threat in public. What does Hunter feel? What does Hunter feel about that? Is Tevin trying to sow seeds?
Is that just trying to that? But that could also be explained away by Tevin is just trying to, pump up the tribe, saying, "Hey, Tevin, Hunter's a beast. Let's go." And to give motivation whilst on the set out bench. That's the problem too, and that's honestly a good way for Tevin to plant those seeds, because if it comes back to Tevin can be like, I was just trying to pump you up, trying to gas you up. We're on the challenge, but then that could also be Tevin playing the game. I don't know. I do think subtitles are important. Remember last season where Austin said D's the winner?
I mean, that was the most blatant subtitle I think we've ever had on Survivor.
But it was so bold that we were like, maybe.
Yeah, it was bold. Like, we didn't expect something like that.
That's why I like retrospect.
Retrospect is great. I still have Tiffany at 1, and you have Tiffany at 1. Will, this is so nice.
I took the pill. I took the Tiffany at number 1 pill. I did it. Calm down, guys. I admit it. Tiffany's doing good.
He did it. He put her number 1. It is shaky. Listen, it's shaky for me, though. It is shaky for me having Tiffany at number 1, because while I think Tiffany has had great confessionals, great screen time, a great read on the game, reminding us of the idol this episode, which is important, there's still doubt. This is the shakiest number 1 for me, and I'd love to have Tiffany number 1. She's my winner pick from the very beginning of the season, but I'm scared. I'm hesitant. I'm scared. I'm like here, man. Like, I'm literally like, I'm here,
What is happening?
I'm here.
All right. Listen, Jack. Listen.
What's up?
Here's welcome to the world's greatest number 1 podcast.
Welcome to the world's greatest podcast, Survivor Stockwatch.
This is the 5th best Survivor Now podcast. No. I put Tiffany at number 1 because I'm trying all my number 1s, they go out, right? Kelly last season was a big one. Who else did I have number 1?
Oh, are you placing the curse? Are you placing the curse? You're placing the number 1 curse on Tiffany right now.
Yep. That way I could say that I was right, you were wrong.
Why are you doing this to me?
Because revenge, bro.
Revenge? I didn't do anything to you.
Yeah. Sorry, pal.
You are. Listen, I bashed you for your picks last season with Hannah and Sean. Like, they were awful picks. You're still winning the draft for the Survivor Now podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Anyhow, Tiffany reminded us of the idol this episode, gave her thoughts on the situation. She had a very interesting look that I want to, that I feel like we were made to pay attention to this episode when it was Q, herself, Hunter, and Tevin on the boat, like a couple minutes before Tribal Council started. When Q mentioned that Venus is attempting to get rid of a man because she wants to keep women's numbers up, and the boys reacted in a poor way, Tiffany had a look, and that was like a wait a minute kind of look. Because if they're thinking about that and she's in that scenario, she's in the 6. She can really play both sides quite well, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. I think Tiffany is going to be a fantastic under-the-radar player now that there are more numbers to work with.
Yeah.
I do think, though, it is possible. I know I said this about Kenzie, and I'm kind of backtracking. I do think, though, once the dust settles, I do think people could see Tiffany as the kingpin, the buoy of Yanu.
Yeah.
Because Q is, big personality, a big guy, and Kenzie has been hyped up as like the big strategic force. I could see people going, wait a second, why are we focusing on Q and Kenzie when Tiffany's right there.
All it takes is people figuring out that Kenzie and Tiff were close. Because once they realized they are close, they saw Q and Tiffany, they saw Kenzie and Tiffany. Tiffany is the common part of both of those equations. Tiffany was the one running the tribe, not Kenzie. Keep it in mind. We go to Tim.
Big dub for Tim, bro.
Big dub for Tim. Moving up in the placement rankings. Still has no chance to win here, but Tim is up in the stocks. Let's go. I just want to get up, and I just want to get up.
You want to boogie?
I just want to put it down. You know what I mean? Just do it here. Do it here. You know what I'm saying?
Tim. So the reason why we have Tim up, we don't think he has a chance. However, there's some more longevity with Tim that we did not have. Because before, Tim had legitimately nothing. Yeah. All right, for 3 straight episodes, he had no confessionals. No, he had one confessional, and it was about the song battle in episode 2. Who cares?
Yeah, and it was nothing. It was nothing.
But now he has something, and he's playing the game in a way that's still low key, and I feel like he could kind of put himself outside of the Sega bubble. I think when people think of Sega, I feel like they look at Charlie and Ben first, maybe Maria, but Tim has made connections outside of Sega. He did throw out Mariah's name, and while he didn't want to do that, that alone puts him in a better spot socially than everyone else.
Absolutely. I mean, he was willing to fall on the Sega sword first and be like, hey, this is the person I think would be a good person to get rid of Sega. It kept his alliance pretty much together from Sega, and he was shown as someone willing to sacrifice some numbers. And so Nami may look at that, or rather Tevin and Hunter may look at that and go, okay, we're ready to sacrifice Venus next episode. Maybe we'll sacrifice Soda next episode. Tim had a very good read on what was going on, and I think being in that alliance with the guys and Tiffany and Maria helps. What I see as an issue, and I see as a potential coming up here that could be a problem, is that alliance of the Journey Alliance is what we're calling them. The Journey Alliance is what we're calling them. Oh. Could potentially see Maria going back to Charlie, Tiffany going back to Kenzie, and the 4 guys are isolated as a bros alliance and are taken out because of that. And that's a little bit of concern I have for that.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, I'm always happy when someone who gets shafted starts to get screen time and, playing the game. Because for a while, we just had no idea who Tim was. We saw a little bit of strategy very early on, Fear of the Women's Lines. However, why did he get legitimately no confessionals whatsoever when Mariah was getting weird scenes that had no impact on the story?
Exactly. And I think it's the same thing with Josh in 44, right? Like Josh got nothing for the first 4 episodes. That sucked. Because Josh that flared up on our screens in the
Tika
last
Josh?
half, Tika Josh was a fantastic casting choice. We needed that the whole time. And we didn't get that the whole time. And that was unfortunate. And so I'm interested to see what happens here. Most importantly with Tim, and in comparison to our last player, Venus, who had a really strange episode, still being on the bottom, but still surviving in a sense. And a lot of people are very happy with Venus in the sense that we are getting that, maybe not Parvati 2.0, but someone that's not willing to speak out against the grain of the tribe. Someone that's willing to go against the common motive. And people love that. People love drama on reality TV, and Venus provides that inherently. Oh, this is a good one. Venus is giving Heather from Total Drama. I 100% agree.
Yeah. I know.
That's a good one.
Drama Island. I know that show. It's my favorite show.
Well,
no. Look, I liked SpongeBob and Family Guy when I was a child. Those are the only shows I watch. And now that I'm an adult, the only shows I watch now are Big Brother, SpongeBob, Family Guy, and Survivor.
Okay, well, give us some Venus advice here. What are we thinking?
Do not buy any Venus stock. She's not winning the game. And
we don't think she's winning the game, unfortunately.
I could see a world where she gets voted out next. However, I don't know. I think she's too much of a lightning rod to go out this early. Now, I've said that before, and I was completely wrong. I think of Sabaya, where she got so much content, and it felt just right, and then immediately got voted out in episode 4. I think she just gets undermined. She reminds me of, who was it? Was it Jamie in 44?
Really? You were reminded of Jamie.
Where the whole season is just Venus being wrong. Jamie had such a weird edit where she just got dunked on for like 14 episodes straight, and it was funny. Venus had a similar trajectory. One moment I noticed was she called herself an underdog, cutting immediately to Kenzie, who was like, "We are the underdogs. We lost everything." Venus is a player who has the right read, has the right mindset for the game, but will never make the social bonds or never make the connections for it to matter.
Yeah. I could easily see that. I mean, I think it's really going to depend on how she moves forward from this vote, because her and Mariah were at the bottom very clearly, and Venus is the one left. And so I'm interested to see how she deals with it now, if she retracts some of her statements or if she leans into it a little more. I'm very interested to see maybe Siga and Yanu team up to take out Anami. I don't think that's plausible. I think Venus goes earlier than a lot of people may have her.
Yeah.
But we love Venus. She's awesome.
We do. She's providing so much drama. If you haven't seen her Twitter,
her Twitter on Wednesday night, Thursday morning was fantastic to watch. I love it. Stockwatch tier list. Here we go, baby. We are getting right into it. Ignore the minus under the no chance, no buy. We have Tiffany with this. We have, what am I? Oh my God. What am I doing? I start with the positives first. Silly me. Kenzie.
All 3 of them.
Yeah, Charlie, Kenzie, and Tevin with a plus. Charlie with an episode purely because other people fell, but a little bit of decency for him, still getting noticed in the edit. His name was brought up a little bit, like barely by Venus, and then it was quickly shut down, which is a good thing. Kenzie getting bumped up because she's getting that right content that we need from her right now. Not too much, not too little. And Tevin moving up purely because everybody else has moved down, and he is still hanging in there. We have Tiffany as the only stay at number 1, but it is shaky. Careful. We have Hunter, Maria, and Q at cells. Hunter, little too Austin for my liking, little too strong. I think he's going to get taken out pretty soon. Maria with a cell, a little bit less of a cell, but she's still on. She should get a tiny bit more. You know what I mean? Like a tiny bit more, in my opinion. And Q with the cell, I think next episode could be really, really rough for Q. This episode was already somewhat rough for Q, so it could be rough for Q. And then we have no chance, no buy for Soda, Liz, Tim, Venus, and now for me, Ben. What do you think?
I disagree with Ben. I think I would have him at just a cell. Maybe even a double cell, but not a slash. I still think there is slight hope. I agree for the most part with everything. I do think be careful of Hunter, be careful of Tiffany, and Q. I think those 3 are the shakiest for me because I feel like there's a few negatives, but I don't know how much of that is just new era editing, how much of it is just them having to show people in a negative light, or how much of it is actual cracks of them going out soon.
The most stable for me, I agree, are Hunter, Maria, and Kenzie right now.
I think Hunter's a little.
Oh, sorry. I meant Charlie, Maria, and Kenzie. My mistake.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're good.
Yeah. I think those are the 3 most stable contenders at the moment.
Yeah. But we got to have a few crackpots. This won't be Survivor.
Throw it out. This would be Survivor. Yeah. This wouldn't be our show.
Stockwatch, bro.
This would be the Stockwatch without some.
This ain't your grandma's Survivor podcast.
I want to. Where's this coming from, Mona? It's somewhere in here. Yes. Who needs crackpot theories when you have me on crack? It's great, isn't it? Look at all those middle of the roads. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 middle of the roads. Isn't that so cool? Everybody just getting the same. And then 3 CP negatives. This is a great episode. We have the highest visibility with Q at a 5, lowest with Liz at a 1, best rating, no one. Everyone sucked this episode. No one's rating was great. No positive. Middle of the road's fine, but so many people got it that it doesn't matter. Worst rating. In my opinion, less content but negative is worse than more content but negative. Soda with under the radar negative, rough. Really, really rough. But also the CP negatives throwing it in there. Key takeaways here. Ben, out for me. I think he needed a better episode here. He just kind of is the go with the flow guy for me. Hunter, a little too cookie cutter, falling rapidly for me. And Kenzie, that Edgic strip is looking a lot like the new era Edgic winter strips. It's looking a lot like Jam Jam, looking a lot like early Gabler, looking a little bit like Marianne as well in terms of positivity and negativity. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Kenzie on one hand is a little too visible, but at the same time, she was on the losing tribe. She was forced to be visible. That's why I like Tiffany more, because I feel like Kenzie was more in the spotlight while Tiffany was just as in control, but not as present. That could also just be because, Kenzie had like better fit the episodes better. That could be reasons outside of just Edgics. I feel like sometimes we forget that this is still a show that people enjoy. I don't want to. I mean, obviously, people would enjoy.
You saying people enjoy the show? I'm kidding.
I mean, there's different ways to enjoy Survivor. I feel like we kind of analyze it more, and the show is, it's not made for us. It's made for.
Yeah, as much as we really want to get down to the nitty gritty, it's not necessarily made for us. It's mostly made for really casual fans, and. I mean, we can analyze the Edgic all we want, but sometimes it's just a gut feeling. You just got to feel it right. So, yeah.
I concur.
Well,
Jack.
David versus Goliath was a pretty cool season of Survivor. It's an enjoyable show. Phineas and Ferb. You should watch more episodes of Phineas and Ferb.
Man, I'm too busy. All right. I told you, there's 4 shows I watch now. Survivor, Big Brother, Family Guy, and SpongeBob. All I need.
All you need.
Early SpongeBob. Fire show. Jack.
This has been the stop.
All right, calm down, partner. You're getting a little antsy for my liking. A little too crazy. I do not trust you to drive right now, sir.
Do you have anything else to say?
No.
Okay. That's fantastic. Woo! We want to thank you all for watching this episode of Survivor Stock Watch. We appreciate your patronage, or rather us being patrons for you, our humble audience. We love you. We love seeing your opinions. Will, I'm sure you agree.
I concur. I really like everyone who always sticks around. I'm looking at you, Frank, Chris,
Mona, Jay, Randy was here for a while.
Randy as well. I appreciate everyone for not just watching the episodes, but commenting all the time. Being here every day or every Friday at 2 p.m. I appreciate it.
We thank you from the bottom of our heart. This has been a great episode of Survivor Stock Watch. We will see you next week for what is sure to be another installment in the most vicious season ever. Goodbye.